Ever wonder why kids love these scary clowns? A simple man's life changed after he put on the costume of the first clown in history. The film begins with the birthday party of Jack, a 7-year-old boy. The mother, Meg, is preparing the cake along with her sister. While the kids are happily playing with the dog, Meg's sister learns that Meg is pregnant again. They are very excited, but Meg asks her to keep it a secret. Unfortunately, the clown they had called to Jack's party can no longer show up. Meanwhile, Kent, who is a real estate agent, is at the house he is going to sell. He receives a call from Meg, who asks him to replace the clown. Kent is a loving husband and family man and begins to think of ways to remedy the problem. In the basement of the house, he finds an old clown costume. After dressing up and putting on makeup, he returns home, where he improvises a little show that is very appreciated by the kids. That same night, after the party is over, Meg promises to give him a little gift if he takes off that costume. Although he tries hard, Ken falls asleep exhausted on the couch with the costume still on. The next morning, still dressed as a clown, he takes Jack to school and then heads off to work. Ken justifies his appearance by saying that he has a kid. Later, he tries to cut off the costume, but ends up cutting his wrist. While trying to cut the costume, he also ended up breaking a tool. When evening arrives, he even feels that the costume, the wig, and the red nose are slowly and gradually sticking to his skin. Soon, his wife Meg notices it too, and that same evening, she tries to help him remove his nose. But she wounds him when the object, after several attempts, comes off, taking with it a thick slice of skin. In an instant, the dog approached and ate the nose. Also, Meg noticed that the wig had become part of Kent, as if it were his real hair. Ken visited the doctor, and the latter suggested trying hot showers. At home, Kent began to show strange behaviors, such as increased appetite. In fact, he starts to devour Jack's birthday cake. The next morning, Meg found a huge mess in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Ken was in the house where he found the costume and asked about the previous owner of the house. To look like a normal person, he used makeup and dyed his hair black. Wanting to understand what is happening to him, he manages to track down the last person who came in contact with the costume, a certain Mr. Carlson. He tells him about the costume, and the man warns him to not touch it, but it's too late. Finally, they agree to meet at Carlson's house. Inside Carlson's cellar, Ken finds numerous costumes and mannequins. Shortly afterward, Ken meets him, and Carlson confesses to him that he is familiar with this outfit. The costume is actually the skin of an ancient Icelandic demon, now forgotten, the Cloyne, which every winter descended from the mountains to the villages. He attracted 5 children to itself, one for each of the coldest months of the year, and devoured them. The only way to get rid of his possession without killing anyone is death by decapitation. So, after sedating him with tea, the old man tries in vain to cut off Ken's head, but Ken manages to escape, although with the blade still inside the costume. Carlson fell to the ground and tried to grab the gun, but Ken managed to take it from him. Carlson reveals that there is no other solution, as it is the demon's skin. That same evening, Ken returned home to tell Meg about it. Nervous, he didn't notice that Meg had guests, including her father. Let's just say that Meg's father and Kent are not on the best of terms. Everyone thinks Ken has gone crazy. On the other hand, Ken continued to say that Carlson wanted to kill him, so he tied him up in the car. Then, his brother-in-law approached and violently pulled Ken by his hair, thinking it was just a wig. At that point, Ken grabbed his hand and broke it. After that, Ken got into the car to take Carlson to the police station. While driving, Ken spits out the blood of a different color, and the transformation begins. His fingers and toes began to grow in size. From behind, Carlson tries to strangle him, but to no avail. Ken stopped the car and pulled Carlson out. The older man told him to commit suicide to stop the transformation. Ken decides to move away from his family to avoid hurting his son and wife. He takes refuge in a forest, but there is a group of Boy Scouts. One of them wants to wash his dirty plate and finds himself in front of Kent. Kent asks him for food, and the boy offers him some cookies. The moment the boy reached out his hand, Ken bit off his finger. The little boy started running and screaming. The next day, Meg told her son to call the teacher if Ken comes to pick him up. After arriving home, Meg found Carlson's diary and started reading it. In the meantime, Ken walked out of the woods and into a public restroom, where he discovered that his teeth had taken a different shape and his eye had changed color. At the same time, some children entered the bathroom and Ken hid. One of the kids saw him and started screaming, at which point Ken fled away. Later that same day, Ken decided to hide in a motel, where he met a very curious little boy. To avoid hurting him, Ken immediately entered the room and told him to stay away. While the little boy was calling him from outside, Ken was trying to control himself. Remember the nose eaten by the dog? Now the dog is acting weird and won't stop growling. In the meantime, Meg gets a call from Kent. Kent plans to kill himself, so he wanted to say goodbye to his wife one last time. He took the gun and shot himself in the mouth, but after a few seconds, he came back to life. In the meantime, Meg sets out to find him in all the properties on which Kent was working. Realizing that cutting off his own head is the only solution, Kent bought 2 buzzsaws. After getting everything ready, Kent tried to push himself off a chair. In the process, the curious little boy entered the room and was accidentally cut off by one of the saws in the middle of his torso. Kent, scared, but at the same time hungry, closed the room and devoured the little boy. Later, Meg arrives at the motel and reveals to Kent that she is pregnant. Kent came out of the room and asked her to take him home. As Meg is closing the door, the remains of the little boy can be seen on the floor. When they got home, Kent told her to tie him up with chains. He told her to not release him under any circumstances. Meg analyzed Carlson's diary and then decided to visit him in the hospital. Carlson told her to not trust Kent and that he is the only one who can help him. Then, Meg decided to investigate the property where the costume had been found. In the cellar, Meg finds a giant metal chair and a video camera. She played the tape and saw Cloyne tied to the chair while making demonic noises. Meanwhile, Jack had run home after being bullied at school, and Meg worriedly headed home. Jack had found Kent in the basement and told him that he had been bullied. After that, Kent persuades Jack to release him. Soon after, Meg arrived home and found Jack. She was terrified, but she still didn't know that Jack had untied him. Kent had gone to confront the bully and met him inside the house while playing with the console. Kent starts running towards the kid and attacks him. Later that night, the dog also turned into a demon. The dog was about to attack Meg, but luckily Carlson was there and cut his head off. Jack, traumatized for life, fled to his room. The dog's head began to release a colorful liquid instead of blood. As Meg screamed agitatedly, Carlson told her that they had to find Kent. Later, in the kitchen, Carlson explained to her that years earlier, he had to manage to free himself from the costume curse by offering the demon the lives of 5 children. He had been helped by his brother Martin, a doctor at a children's cancer clinic, who had chosen his victims from among the terminally ill. After that, the costume was kept in the cellar until it was found by Kent. Carlson also revealed that he tried to destroy the costume, but failed. They couldn't bury it or throw it in the ocean, as it could be found by someone else. Carlson said that the only solution to stop the demon was to cut off his head. In the cellar, Carlson found the remains of a child vomited by Kent. Jack entered the cellar and revealed that his father had gone to confront the bully. Soon after, Carlson and Meg left for the boy's house and found the lifeless body in the house. Kent had turned into the demon, and the longer he was free, the more children were in danger. Meg deduces that Kent may have gone to a playground. Upon arriving at the playground, Carlson and Meg set out to find Kent. In the process, a little boy was looking for his brother in the tube, and after finding him, he saw how someone pulled him off by his feet. The boy walked over and got the clown's attention, after which he was attacked. After that, a severed piece of hand falls into the ball pit. The children see the hand and scream in fear. At that point, the place is then evacuated. Carlson and Meg find the bloodstains on the ground and begin to follow them. Meg finds Ken inside a darkened room and tries to talk to him. Suddenly, Carlson tried to decapitate him with an axe, but Ken managed to stop him. Meg kept hoping that there was another solution, and Ken asked her to bring him another baby. Then the demon spoke, saying that he needed another child to release her husband. He threatened that he would kill Jack if she didn't bring him a kid. Meg went outside and noticed the child alone. She slowly approached, after which the baby's mother took him in her arms. Meg got into the car, and a little girl approached to ask for a ride home. Instead of taking her home, Meg takes her into the woods. She lets the girl out and closes the car doors. The girl is scared and begs Meg to let her in. Eventually, Meg opens the door and tries to drag her inside, but the scared girl runs away. In the meantime, a man had approached and started looking for the girl. Since she hadn't brought the baby to the clown, Meg is worried about Jack and drives toward the house. In fact, the clown was already there waiting for Jack, as his grandfather had found more remains of a baby vomited up by the clown. Meg finds her father in the kitchen, but soon after, the clown appears and distorts the man's face. At that point, Kent, completely transformed, began to attack Meg. The woman managed to hit him a couple of times with a big hammer, but the clown overpowered her and tried to eat the baby in her belly. Meg yelled at Jack to run away, and the clown went after him. As he walked, Meg took the knife and cut him several times, and the clown bit her, peeling off some of her skin. In the meantime, Jack was hiding, but nevertheless, the clown managed to find him. Meg didn't give up and tried to suffocate the clown with a chain. Having a cut on his throat, the chain was about to decapitate him. In this critical situation, the clown pretended to be Kent and asked for help. Jack, frightened, told Meg that this was not his father, and while the two were talking, the clown tried to attack again. Meg grabbed the big hammer and decapitated the clown. However, the head was still attached to the body thanks to the esophagus, and the clown was still alive, so Meg pulled the head away and killed the demon. After which, a hot, colorful liquid began to come out of its head. Then, the demon's skin melts, and we can see Kent's head, now split from his body. The film ends as the police arrive at the scene and collect the hair and costume as evidence. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then find out what we risk if we stop reproducing.